Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show big episode today, 150. It's only right. We have a new thumbnail. Do you know what I mean? As we get into a new bit of the Hatter Show. Obviously a new era, you could say. But apologies, we are so late. So we had a bit of issues with StreamYard. Obviously it was my time to pay for StreamYard, and we was trying to sort that out. And then my dad had a few issues with his camera as well. So yeah, we had quite a lot of issues. So apologies that we are very late. No, a lot of people have been waiting, so I do appreciate that very much. But like I say, episode 150. In this one, we'll be getting into that FA Cup game replay against Bolton, which obviously will come out on top. And then obviously we'll be briefly, without getting into it too much, just talking about Everton, coming up, and little bits and bobs on that. And yeah, that is it really. I mean, transfer news has just been rumours, really. I thought the Nelson Abbey thing would come out because, again, we're very heavily rumoured with him. But then I've seen things that he's committed to stay at Reading, apparently. So it's all interesting. I mean, I see a few things as well. Giles being linked to Leeds on a loan. But again, I can't really see that because then we don't really have the depth. If we do let him go, especially in that position, really, because you're seeing not even Bell play in that, that left wing back. So I can't see that. So we're not really going to touch on rumours, when it comes to stuff like that. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. Dad, how are we?
Yeah, all right. Finn might be coming down with a cold, but it's all good in the hood. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There seems to be something going on. Really does, the amount of my friends, regulars that tune into this channel that are, getting illnesses as well, with flu or something. Maybe my stepdad's been ill the last couple of weeks, so it's definitely something going around. So yeah, not a great start to 2024 in that sense. But on a brighter note, obviously we played Bolton during the week, as we all know. Obviously a replay going into it. I wasn't overly confident, just because of how the previous game went against them. We had a very strong team out that day, and we didn't get the result we wanted. I also felt what unfortunately happened to obviously Ian Purslow. I thought that would benefit them in more and motivate them. And obviously them being at home, it's a good opportunity for them. And I know what we like historically in cup competitions over the years. We have had a few good results. Obviously this one is now one of them. Cambridge 3-0 away. Wigan, which was another replay, come out 2-1 winners of that. But there's been a lot still. The Grimsby one, the 3-0 defeat. Obviously the ones where we've come up. Yes, it was against Chelsea, but ones like that as well. We've just narrowly lost out on some. So, I wasn't really confident because of them reasons. But looking at the lineup going into it, it was pretty interesting. I did like to see what I saw. Maybe I saw a bit more than I expected myself, with the likes of Burke. Obviously, Burke was starting. So obviously, Krul was in goal, expected. He is going to be in goal in the FA Cup, a remainder of it. However far we get, I do believe that. Menji, Osho, and then Doughty was on the left, Chio was on the right, and in the midfield was Barkley and Ruddock, and then it was Chong, I believe he was on the right side, Clark was on the left, like he was against Burnley, and then Morris was up front. As for the bench, Elijah, Bell, Berry, Brown, Giles, Kaminsky, Potts, Townsend, Woodrow. So again, a good bench, when it comes to the depth, especially, attacking wise and that sort of thing. And like I say, it's good to see Burke starting. Obviously, I did say I wanted to see him start. We have seen a lot, in the previous cup games, like, for example, Anderson. We wanted to see him start and he hasn't. So it's good to see that Burke actually was, coming back. And he was starting in that side of things. And, it's good to see Clark getting a run out. Maybe it wasn't, as rotational as obviously I went. But again, Rob Edwards said, he's going to go with a team that is going to be strong and win the game. And that's what they did. So, yeah. But I was overall happy with it. Dad, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, but pretty much expected. Clark starting after his last performance against them. I thought that could be the case. Burke is interesting to see Burke start. And yeah, other than that, it was pretty much the same. I guess Ruddock, it was good to see Ruddock start as well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you say, it's good to see certain rotation. As much as Rob Edwards said he went for a strong squad, it's good to see, the likes of the players that are getting minutes under their belts as well. Like I say, Burke, Clark, obviously Ruddock, it's good to see that he's, playing. I can't even remember the last time he maybe actually, started a game. It's been a while, hasn't it? So it was good to see there. But moving on to the actual first half, obviously the first talking point is their goal. They did score in the 10th minute, and I'm not going to lie. Obviously, it was one of them where you had to listen to it if you weren't there. Wasn't on any sort of international broadcast or anywhere watching it. But I was thinking, oh, here we go. It's going to be one of these cup games, isn't it, for us, where we concede early, then they probably get a couple more, but. Dion Charles, who I actually thought would do more in the reverse game. Obviously, he got the goal in this game for them. Bit of an unlucky goal. I see Menji get quite a bit of criticism. Don't get me wrong, this was one of his, not better games, but I think he was unlucky on the goal. He did slip, and then obviously, it gave them a chance to go forward, and they played it across to Charles, and it was a good finish, to be honest. I don't really think Krul could have done an awful lot. The way it's been fizzed across, it was a good strike. And they went 1-0 up. And yeah, was you like me, Dad? Was you thinking, oh, this could be long? Or was you still believing?
No, I still believe in
right
it. I still believe in it. It's just quite obviously frustrating when he's been a standout performer. Sort of got done a bit there. But what Burke did as well. Like, so I've watched the highlights as well. As like you listen to it, so and he kind of got wrong side of Charles as well. Do you know what I mean? A little bit. But Charles isn't a mug. He's a good player. So but if anything, it was good because it kind of spurred us on. I mean, we was having good possession anyway before that. So and they're a good team. So we knew they'd score anyway, but I was still confident with what we had out there and what we had on the bench that we'd, pick it up.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then obviously, the next talking point is our goal. We did respond well, very well. In fact, a goal 5 minutes later. It all started from Barkley, who got a block in, and then obviously Chio, good pass through to Clark. Clark, lovely half turn that was, by the way. And then played it to Chong. And again, another lovely finish by Chong, through their players' legs into the bottom right corner. Very nice goal by Chong. And it was good to see, because a lot of times when he has started, he hasn't quite been as impactful as, when he's come on in games. So it's good to see, from the start that he was, obviously got a goal and he impacted the game. And, it's good to see that. Hopefully it gives him confidence now. If he carries it on, it could be like the start of the season where he started games. That he could maybe start again. Where he could play anywhere across that, so-called front three. Really, for me. Obviously we're not going to put him, the highest up, but I see him playing on the left or the right side of that. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But lovely finish by him, and I love the way he's like, right, let's not celebrate. Let's get on with it. That was good to see as well. But yeah, good finish by Chong, wasn't it, Dad? And good build-up play.
Yeah, what I liked about it, is to be fair, we haven't really seen a lot of goals like that this season because most of our goals come from set pieces, etc. So it proved, when you are a better team, Bolton are a good side, probably will get promoted to the Championship and stuff. But you can see, obviously, the level which we've got, and it was just smooth play. And both of our goals were, to be fair, but this was as well. I mean, it's a good layoff by Clark. Just from a basic block, really, from Barkley, but Chio, nice touch, confident, in a lot of space, get more space, you see. And yeah, for Chong to because the defender was on him, so and he couldn't move, but he had the confidence to place it. So yeah, straight away as well. So that was nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously they had that chance, didn't they, from quite very far out. Obviously, Barkley did get caught out. But again, for me, it's a lot of times what we have this season because he's got that slight experience over a lot of the players. He's holding up the ball a bit too long, and he's trying to look for them options, and the players aren't always noticing it. And that was sort of what happened there for me. He lost the ball, and then obviously they went forward, and they went for an effort from distance. And Krul, it did sound like from the commentary, it was like a bit of a mad one, and Krul like shouldn't have been as far out as he was. But looking back at it, it weren't that bad, and he still saved it at the end of the day. But yeah, it was a good opportunity for them, sort of out of nowhere. But I'll say we have seen that a lot of times, and like I said, I don't really blame that on Barkley. It's just more so, like I say, the players are a bit, compared to him, they're a bit inexperienced, so they don't always, capitalise on that sort of thing and understand it. A player you see a lot that understands it is Doughty. You see that an awful lot when he's getting onto the balls. You look at a Palace game, for example. But sometimes the midfielders don't always notice that, especially like Ruddock, who's alongside him. Sometimes he's not always where you want him to be, really, is he, alongside the midfielders. So it was one of them. And then obviously we had the chance moving on to the second half. We had that chance, obviously, Clark off the post. He played really well in this game, I felt. And, like we said, going into it, we felt it was good to, play him in this game. Again, getting him his minutes under his belt. And he weren't too bad against Burnley, but it made sense to, put him in a game like this for the minute side of things. Half volley off the post. We were peppering them, I did feel, in the second half, especially early on. Obviously, we had that chance, the Chong and Ruddock chances. Chong also had a chance after his goal as well that weren't too far wide either. And, Ruddock had a shot, and I thought, oh, do you know what? This could be it. But, it was straight at the keeper, but still very powerful shot. And, the way all their players were in the box, they can be difficult to actually notice for the keeper and try and get onto because there's the amount of bodies in the way. But he saved it, and then obviously we did eventually capitalise and get a goal. Obviously, Giles. It all started from Bell actually initially winning the ball back. He done well again. I felt in this game. Played it forward to Giles. Giles played it to Morris, and then Morris with a lovely pass across over to Chio, who again gets another goal. Gets another goal for us, which is obviously again good to see. And I believe in this game, especially in the second half, I believe he went higher up because of the sub we made when we brung Giles on, didn't we? For Doughty, that gave Gio luxury to go more forward, I believe, or maybe he's free roaming a little bit, but you can see him a lot more forward. In the second half, obviously he still does on the right, but he has got to come back a bit more. But you could see that he was sort of free roaming, which is good to see. And then obviously the last talking point of the whole game was, I guess, their goal that obviously didn't stand. Looking at it, it was slightly offside. Again, it was Dion Charles. And, Krul immediately, as soon as it went in, he was going over to the officials. He was like, come on, like this is offside. And it was, looking back at it. So again, well done to the defence for the whole, the high line held. And we held on. It was always going to be difficult. Like I said, obviously again, Dad, that's 2 games in a row you've got spot on. Going forward, by the way, people, we'll start it from the Brighton game. We're going to do a little competition thing, me versus my dad, whoever's going to get the most points, and then we'll see at the end of the season what goes on there. But like I say, it was always going to be difficult because like I said, it was a good opportunity for them. Being at home to try and knock out a Premier League side. They got the more beneficial result, obviously, in the first game. So they're always going to have that motivation as well. And, we held on, which was good to see. And, it's very well worked goals, like you said earlier, Dad, and got us through the line. And, Rob Edwards, he keeps going with pretty strong lineups in the FA Cup. So it shows you, that we do want to try and, at least get a decent cup run this season, which again is good to see. So yeah, that's really my thoughts on it. But Dad, your whole thoughts on the second half?
Yeah, it was again another good goal from open play. Again, you can see the quality. Right, they just couldn't deal with it. We got more space, you see, than you would in the Premier League. So it makes it look easier, but then it shows you the quality of the players that you've got. So that was good to see. And I think that's probably one of Chong's best games I've seen him. and then we made the right changes as well. And we got it over the line, and that's what you should be doing against the decent team. We've been in them positions, good League One team again, and things like that against Premier League opposition and stuff. And we've done it. We beat Aston Villa out before, Norwich a few years ago. Gave good games against Chelsea and things like that. So yeah, it's and then obviously the clapping in the 71st minute for the Bolton fan that passed away. That was good to hear and stuff. So yeah, got it over the line. The boys are on holiday. They'll be coming back soon. Obviously, they've got a game sooner than they thought, but you've got nothing to lose in that game. Beat Everton before. They'll be on their guard more this time, but it'll be interesting. I'm sure they'll make a couple of changes as well. And yeah, something to look forward to. And again, we won't be too fussed if we get knocked out, will we? Really, but it's it's a game, and then after that you've got a proper league game, so it gets you back up to scratch a little bit. It's all right. It's good timing.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is very true. So you can sort of kick on and carry on, and you don't want to wait too long, because then that's where it can kick in, and then you could maybe when you return you're a bit like, well, we're a bit all over the place and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Big up to everyone inside. Big up to Paul, says evening lads. Big up to yourself. Big up to Hanno as well. I was so bored earlier, right? I was watching the Hatter shows back in the day, right, Dad? And
Yeah.
remember that one where me, you, Don, and Hanno went on, and Hanno obviously done that quiz for us. I watched that one. Very old one. Yeah, that was mad to think that was over a year ago. And Hanno, mate, your voice has drastically changed. So yeah, no, big up for that. And Jackie also says, hi, Ty Daz, I got my prediction 2-1. Yep, you did. So did you as well, Dad. That's back to back for you, Dad. You're on fire. If our prediction thing started this, 2 weeks ago, I'd be in the mud already. So, but yeah, like I say, let's get into the player ratings. So obviously in goal, like I say, Krul. Obviously that moment, like I say, he still saved it. I thought he was decent in the game. Like I say, going forward in this competition, we'll be playing. We all know that. Even if we, say for example, we'd love it to happen. Will it happen? You never know. But say we got to the final, he'd even be in goal for that. Because it's his competition for us in that. And like I say, I thought he was okay. I don't think there was too much wrong or right, in a good way, really. So it wasn't a standout, but he was okay. So for me, I'm going to go with 6.5 for Krul.
Yeah, I'll go in 6.5. Obviously when you listen to it on the radio, it's different because you can't see exactly like the geezer that was offside and that, and it sounded like he'd made a bit of an error at the time, but obviously didn't. And then his protests, not maybe a lot of people saying, oh, he ran up to him, that's why they changed their mind. But he's obviously said, you saw him touch it or whatever, and that's it basically. Like, how can you miss that? And so the refs probably asked the linesman, did he touch it? And he's like, yeah, go where it's offside then. Well, do you know what I mean? It was delayed. That's a bit not good. But again, if these linesmen, I don't know if the linesmen's been in the Premier League this season, but they're used to that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he just got confused. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I don't know, because we didn't see it live. We didn't even in the highlights, you can see him celebrating and then know that the flag goes up. We didn't really see it in real time. So, but it was the correct decision. It was tight, but it was the correct decision at the end of the day. You're going to feel like you get robbed if it takes that long and there's no VAR and all that, of course. But that's down to the officials' fault, really. It should have went up quicker than that. But so, yeah, 6.5. Cool.
Yeah. Jackie's gone with a 7. And then moving on to go over to Burke. Obviously, like I say, it's good to see that he was getting the minutes under his belt. Obviously, I wanted to start him in obviously my lineup that I went with. And again, can't really think of too much wrong from him. So Burke, I'm going to go with a 7. But
Yeah, I'll go with 7. Obviously, again, so we listened to it, and he was getting a lot of the ball. He was going forward quite a lot as well, as we know that he does. And it was good. Out of the defenders, it sounded like he was the better one, to be honest. But and then obviously, when you look at that goal, Menzies and Bell probably they're both to blame there. But still, it sounds like he had a good game, so I'm going to give him a 7.
yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving over to sorry, I'm just trying to put the laptop in charge. Moving over to Menji, we'll go over to the left side. Obviously, he was on the left a lot of times recently. Obviously, we've seen him on the right, so it's good to see him back over to the left. And obviously, like I say, the goal he was a bit, obviously, unfortunate. I felt, it was a slip. It was a bit of an unlucky one, but there was a few moments he had in the game, like I said, where he wasn't as good by the sounds of it, and seeing highlights as we know he can be. So for me, I'm gonna go over 6 for Menji.
Well, I was checked doing my ratings as I was listening to it, and and he got substituted at half time. For me, it's probably his worst performance by the sounds of it as well. So it's a 5 for me.
No, that's fair enough. Like I say, it weren't great.
Rob Edwards' interview, they said a couple of people about it. He goes, I'm not going to, individual players, I'm not going to chat about that, but players know the standards and and he come off at half time,
Yeah.
So 5 for me.
Yeah.
Rare 5.
Yeah, exactly. Jackie says Burke 7 and Menji 7. Moving on to we'll do the wing. No, sorry, Osho. Nearly forgot about Osho. Obviously, again, he was playing in the middle in this game, and again, I thought he was decent. Obviously, out of the whole back three, Menji obviously wasn't as good as we know he can be, but Osho, I don't think he was terrible. So I'm going to go with 6.5 for Osho.
I'll give him another look because again, when I was listening to it, it did sound that we was going all out attack, right? And Osho and Menji were the ones who were meant to just cover, and they weren't doing it correctly. So and it sounded like Osho was having a bit of a mare. I think there was a part where he played it to Barkley when Barkley didn't really want it there, and then they were like, there was a couple of arguments going on at some point from what the commentator was saying, and it just did sound like it was his best game. So I'm basing it on that, 5.5.
Fair enough. I did see, to be honest, in the Burnley game, I did mention it to you. I can't remember if I said it on here, but there was a lot of times when, like I said earlier with Ross Barkley, where he's on the ball, and his experience is showing where he's looking for them options, but the players aren't always noticing it. I see a few times Osho had that as well, but from a defence perspective, when he's trying to play the ball out, and he was getting quite frustrated there as well. So, maybe it's a little bit of that, but then again, like I say, there was a few times Osho did, have a little bit of their moments, but it's one of them. Osho 7 says Jackie, and Paul's gone same as me with 6.5. He's also gone Menji 6.5 as well. And then moving on to the wing backs, we'll start off with Doughty. Again, obviously he come off at half time, which it does make sense, because he has played a lot of football recently, and I'll keep saying it. I don't want it to get to a stage like what he did with Bell, where he's playing a lot of games and he gets an injury, because especially a player like Doughty, what he can bring for us, playing on the left, playing on the right, it won't be great, so it totally made sense to, take him off when Rob Edwards did. And I do want to see Giles get a bit of a run out. So again, it was good to see that. Obviously, he was very key to the second goal as well, Giles. So yeah, Doughty, I thought he was okay, but again, he has played a lot of games. So for me, Doughty, I'm going to go with a I'm gonna go 7 for Doughty in this one.
Obviously 45 minutes. Yeah, in a couple of moments, but he weren't in the game too much by the sounds of it, or as effective as he normally is. And obviously coming for half time, but I'd give him a 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Doughty 7, says Jackie. And then moving on to Chio, obviously the side he was. He's up there for man of the match for me. He's not quite my man of the match, but he is up there. Obviously very, obviously got the goal, very influential, especially in that second half. I thought he stood out a lot more, and I think that's because he was more attacking though. Like I say, it felt like he was free roaming a little bit, which is good to see. So yeah, he's up there for me. Like I say, my rating for Chio, I'm gonna go with a. Joe, what? I'm gonna go with 7.5 for Chio.
Yeah, he's up there as well for me, definitely. I'm going to give him a 7. I think some of the passes to him weren't great at times by the sounds of it, but when he did have the ball, he affected it correctly, as did a couple of other players, and obviously got his goal as well. So 7.
Yeah, fair enough. He's gone with a 7.5. And then moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Ruddock. Again, like I say, it's good to see that he was getting played in this game. I do think at times it was sort of like where Ross Barkley was doing a lot and Ruddock wasn't quite there at times. Obviously he had that chance in the second half, but we have seen that a bit with Ruddock where it seems like he's sort of spaced out, doesn't it, with the other midfielders at times.
Yeah.
Not quite always there, being the option, that side of things. But I still thought he was okay. I still thought he was okay. I'm going to go for 6.5 for Ruddock.
Yeah, I agree. 6.5. Sounded like he was just doing, basic passes correctly and stuff. I don't think he got made any mistakes really, but he just weren't involved a hell of a lot. But he hasn't played for a while. But then he had that good chance for the shot as well, which weren't, like I say, it's powerful shot. It was decent. It was on target, but he needs a couple of runs in the team. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping maybe he'll start against Everton. So I'm sure that he started against them before when we beat them.
He did, yeah. So I remember saying when we won our first 2 games, he started in both of them.
Yeah. So, just ticking over for me, 6.5.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Jackie's gone with a 7 for Ruddock. And then moving on to Barkley, who is my man of the match. A lot of people probably won't give it to him because, you would expect him to do well in this type of game. But, for me, the reason I give it, he played the whole 90 minutes. He was very, key in that midfield. You could see that was the difference in quality, a player like him. There was a moment as well, which I haven't even mentioned, and I noticed it when I watched highlights and I was like, wow, the sliding block he done when they had that chance. What a block that was. That was absolutely unreal, to get back. That reminded me of, ironically, of Ruddock when we played Blackpool last season.
Yeah.
When we were just, them sort of slide tackles coming in, putting your body on the line sort of thing. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'd say Boston midfield for me. And like I say, a lot of people probably, like I say, would expect him to do well in this game, but full 90 minutes, he's just, I don't want to say getting better and better because we know how good he is, but he's just thriving, absolutely thriving. And he's definitely got to be in the conversation for the England team for me. 100%. This coming Euros, there's 2 midfielders on top of my head that he should be ahead of already for me, Phillips and Henderson. So yeah, but he won't be because we know what Southgate's like. But yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Barkley. So like I say, my man of the match, I'm going with. I won't quite go double figures, but I'll give him a 9.
Wow, that's different from mine. I thought he was decent. Not going to lie, he was involved in the first goal. Sounded like he was getting on the ball a lot. But obviously, I've seen better from him. So for me, it's just a 7.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think the main thing for me is that sliding block. That's just phenomenal. It really is. Barkley 8 says Paul. I was going to say an 8, and Jackie's also gone with an 8. Yeah, I was going to say that. And then moving on to the front three, we'll start off with Clark. Obviously, like I say, it's good to see. Obviously, he's getting the minutes under his belt. Very unlucky, on that shot where he hit the post, and he had a few decent chances. He was very effective. Like I say, good pass to Chong for the first goal. The half turn was obviously the better moment, but still, laid it off to him very nicely. Good finish by Chong. So yeah, good performance from Clark. I'm going with a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Thought he was decent. He's just easing back into the team. He's another one I'd probably expect to start against Everton. Just because better opposition. He needs to easy. He hasn't really played that much. One game in the Premier League, or half or whatever it was, 60 minutes. So, but you can see he's getting better. He was unlucky with that shot, and again, he got good assist. So, 7 for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone with 7.5 as well, same as me. And then moving on to Chong, who again is up there for man of the match. I'd understand if a few people give it to him. He's close second for me, to be honest. Obviously, he got that goal, had that chance after the goal as well. Unlucky. Had that chance in the second half where him and Ruddock had the chances, and he's very good. And like I say, it's good to see that he was very key and influential from the start of the game. There's a lot of games he started, he's not been, like I say, as effective as he has when he's, come on in games. So it's good to see that. So for me, Chong, again, I'm going to go with another 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 from me. He is my man of the match. It's a good finish. And as you say, he's getting forward. He was effective from the game. He had a number of chances. And it was a quick equaliser as well. So, and yeah, I just felt like he played pretty decent in the game.
Yeah.
And another one, starting against Everton for me. They deserve it, I guess, some of them, do you know what I mean? But we'll see. But yeah, man of the match for me, 7.5.
Yeah. No, again, I'd agree on that. We've started him. And then moving on to, obviously, up front, Morris. Again, pretty effective, in this game. Obviously got the assist for the second goal. Lovely ball played across the Chio. And, it was a more effective performance from Morris. He didn't really have what I can think of a lot of chances, compared to like Chong and Clark, etc. But he was still effective in this game. He's getting on the ball, trying to make things happen. And that's what we want to see from him. That's what we want to see. His hold up play in previous games, especially the games he's come on, hasn't been overly great. Again, you'd expect it to be better in, a game against a current League One opposition, but still, I thought he was good in this game. So for me, I'll go with 7 for Morris.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give him a 7. He was quite quiet in the first half, but again, got that assist, played the whole game. He weren't getting too much service initially, until probably Giles come on. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. It was a good assist. Calm as well. He could have just whacked that, but it was good. Good cross into the box.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Jackie says Morris 7.5 as well. And then moving on to the subs, obviously Bell and Giles come on at the same time. Obviously Bell come on for Menji. Again, obviously, Menji not the greatest of games. Bell when he come on, I thought he was decent. Again, it seemed like he, was again obviously in that centre back sort of role, but it seemed like again he was sort of going up and down, which is good to see. And yeah, I thought he was okay, Bell. I'll go over 6.5 for Bell.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I think he was better than Menji by the sounds of it. But nothing great. But then he won the ball, fed it off to Giles, and that's how we got the winning goal. So 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone with a 7. And then moving on to Giles, who obviously, like I say, massive part of that second goal. Obviously, played the ball over to Morris from Bell initially winning it as well. So big up to Bell there as well. And yeah, Giles, like I want to see him get more run out, more of a run out. I know I was a bit critical of him at the start of the season, but that's because I knew, his crossing ability is good, and we weren't seeing that at times. But can't really judge it at the moment because he hasn't played, as many games as we would have thought. So hopefully he starts playing more. Maybe I'm not sure because it is away. Maybe play him against Everton potentially, but at least bring him on. If not for me, especially if we're in a position where say it's level and we have a chance to score. Definitely bring him on. For his crossing and the way look at what he did the other day, for example. He was good. So for me, I'm going to go with 7 for Giles.
I'll give him 6.5. It was effective in the goal, like I say. I think when they scored that offside goal, he was sort of a little bit calling for other players to mark and come in or whatever. But yeah, it weren't too bad. But he did come on like half time. He started off all right, but yeah, 6.5 for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Paul and Jackie have also gone with a 7 for Giles as well. So yeah, there's that. And then moving on to the next 2 players. Obviously Townsend and Brown come on. Townsend just to shore things up, I guess. Really, I'm probably just going to go. Can't really remember too much from Townsend, so I'm just going to probably go for 6.
Yeah, same. Just come on to just legs in it really.
Yeah,
just kind of gets over the line. So yeah, 6.
yeah, no, absolutely. And then Brown again, I'm going to go with another 6.
Yeah, same.
And then obviously Elijah come on for Clark, and again, I'm just going to go with another 6.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go, whatever it was.
Yeah, 9. Yeah,
Fresh legs, really, wasn't it? They didn't really affect anything. They were just only didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, 6.
yeah, no, absolutely. Jackie's on 6 for Townsend, 6 for Brown. So yeah, they are the player ratings for the Bolton game. So as it stands now, Dad, when it comes to our ratings of the players, so Kaminsky's got 1 vote so far. Barkley's got 5, so he's starting to make a bit of a stretch. Doughty's got 2. Lokonga's got 3. Wasn't involved at all in this game, by the way, which again makes sense. Give him a rest. Chong's got 2. So obviously you voted for him, so that's now his 2nd vote. And then Osho and Chio are on 1. So that's how it's looking at the moment. So Barkley is making a bit of a stretch. So it'll be interesting to see if he's still top on the end of the season. But Jackie's also gone with Elijah 6. So yeah, Dad, any final things you'd like to say on that Bolton game?
No, it was disappointing that we couldn't see it. Yeah, we just got over the line. Some people weren't bothered, but now we know we got Everton, beat them before. Should be a good game. Again, Barkley, I want him to start in that game against his old club. It'll be interesting. We've got every chance as well. So, you don't know who we're going to get in the next round. So, like I say, it helps, with the Brighton game because obviously that was the first game of the season and they done us. Obviously, it should be a different story now at Kenilworth Road. But as you said earlier, we're not having this long break and then going into it and to the we're having the game. I don't know if Brighton's still in the cup or not. But it's like a little warm up game, isn't it? As well, be competitive still. So and then a week later we've got Brighton. So that's good in my opinion.
Yeah, Brighton are still in the cup, by the way. Obviously, they beat Stoke, didn't they? They've got Sheffield United away, which I don't think will be an easy game, to be honest. A lot of people probably think it will be, but I don't think it will because it is at Sheffield United as well. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, they'll be playing in the cup as well. The same day and the same time, I believe. Our game is on the 27th, isn't it? Against Everton. It's definitely on the Saturday. I know that, which I believe is the 27th. So yeah, so is theirs. So we'll be playing the same. Yeah, it is. So we'll be playing the same time and that sort of thing as well. So be interesting to see what goes on there. But yeah, briefly talk about a bit more about that Everton game without trying to get into it too much. Obviously, we do have them in the next round now. Obviously, they beat Crystal Palace. Again, I did expect them to beat them. I actually went with a pretty convincing win for Everton. I said 3-0. I just looked at it. If they could beat Newcastle 3-0, Palace, they're very hit and miss this season. Why couldn't they beat them 3-0? You know what I mean? I just thought of it like that. But obviously, I did progress, did get a clean sheet. And yeah, it's like I say, it's not going to be like what it was last time round, because they're in a much better, position. It seems as well since they got the points deduction, they're more motivated and determined to, shut up everyone that thinks they're going down instantly because of the points deduction, and it's going to be interesting to see, how heavily they rotate. Obviously, we'll rotate a little bit, but we'll still play like Barkley and that side of things. I can see, so it's going to be interesting. And if we do get past Everton, it's a good opportunity, to go on a cup run for me, because it is going to be a difficult game. For sure, Goodison Park, it can be quite hostile and difficult to go to, especially with the rumours of them potentially getting more points as well. I know this is in the FA Cup, but still, they'll be a bit fuming with that. So, they'll be extra motivated to try and do well in the cup themselves as well. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure. But yeah, your thoughts on it, Dad? A little bit more.
It's obviously potentially tricky. It's going to come down to who wants it more at the end of the day. They'll be confident. Again, they'll be feeling like we've got it. It's not a vital game, but I think they'll probably be going for it more than us. So if that is the case, then it's probably going to be quite difficult. It depends how up for it we are, and that's all I can say about it. Really, if we're not that up for it, I can see them doing it, because in the back of the minds as well of everyone, it's priority that we stay up, isn't it? So it could be a bit of that, but we'll see. You never know. I think it'd be tight. I think it could potentially go to. Well, I don't know if you still replaying a fourth round or not now. I think you do, but
yeah, I can't quite remember.
Could be interesting, and then we'll be playing them twice, probably in the space of not that long at Kenilworth Road, because obviously we've got playing in the league as well. So, but yeah, it's just a game to look forward to. But we'll see. I don't feel going over the exact same lineup, but I think there'll be a few heads in there that started against Bolton that will play.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. But yeah, that is it. That is it on the Hat Show today. Bit of a short one compared to what we usually do. But Dad, any final things you'd like to say about anything? Obviously, we'll be back again in was it now? When's the Everton game again? It's on the 27th. So we'll be back again this time next week, most likely Thursday or Friday, most likely Friday. So any final things you'd like to say about anything, Dad?
Just enjoy your weekends and yeah, try and catch an AFCON. We might see when Kabore is playing next as well. Just chill out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, there's obviously Championship as well tonight. Not an awful game, to be fair. I might stick that on in the background. Sunderland Hull. That'll be a pretty decent game, to be honest. Hull obviously trying to chase in the playoffs. Quite a few times, though, I'm not going to lie, Hull have been robbed this season. I know people over-exaggerate that word, but they generally have. I remember the Sheffield Wednesday game, don't get me wrong, they were poor, but that red card was never a red card. The EFL actually overturned that. And then, I don't know if any of you see the Norwich game the other day, but the keeper literally jumps on their player. And their player got, moaned at for it. And, stupid. Absolutely stupid. But Sunderland obviously doing well as well. Again, another team that are obviously trying to go up, or at least get in the playoffs. So that's going to be an interesting game. So I'll probably stick that on. And then obviously you got, the other 5 games from, in the Prem from the game week 21. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. And yeah, like you said, Dad, the boys are out in Dubai. I see Osho reacting to his FIFA card earlier. That was pretty good video to watch, actually. But yeah, no, that was good. Obviously, our players have finally got their face IDs, which is good to see. Now we're just waiting on Kenilworth Road, and that is going to be nuts when that eventually arrives. But yeah, like I say, that's it really. If any transfer news comes out, obviously I'll probably do videos upon them. But yeah, it's not really anything at the moment except Tom Holmes. But obviously he's gone back out to Reading for the remainder of the season. And like I say, the Nelson Abbey thing, I've heard that he's keen to stay at Reading or determined to stay there, and I haven't seen anything else fly out from our side other than just silly rumours. Like I say, there was one yesterday, Dan Burn, to ask for 16 million. I can't see that. The guy's 31. Do you know what I mean? And he's a vital part of Newcastle's team at the moment. It's like a couple of years ago, right? If we was to go up, I'd have liked someone like Lascelles, but again, he's a regular now in their team, isn't he? Because back when I was thinking about it, he was on their bench a lot. So it's one of them. And then I've seen, like I said earlier, rumours with Giles to Leeds on loan, but again, I don't think we can really afford to do that because then we ain't really got the depth, and that doesn't really benefit us for me. So I think that won't happen either. But you never know. But hopefully it doesn't, because like I say, I want to see him play a bit more as well. Even in the Everton game coming up, maybe give him a run out if he's not going to start, depending on how the game's going as well. But we will see what goes on. So yeah, big up. I will be releasing predictions for the other 5 games very shortly. So do check them out. They will be out on the community posts. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Big up to everyone that watched the Hat Show the other day. A lot of new viewers and that as well. So big up to yourselves for that. We are currently on 10 likes. Obviously, do smash a like if you haven't already. Like I say, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. We have sort of flown by 1,860 now. So big up to yourselves for that. And then do subscribe to the other channel as well. Obviously, T-Boys TV Extra. Again, a few new subscribers on that, so do appreciate that. And there will be a short on there tomorrow. So yeah, again, do check that out. And yeah, follow me across all my socials as well. TikTok, Instagram, all of that is in the description. So do check that out. And we will be back again next week for the next Hat Show. And yeah, big up to yourselves. Have a good weekend, like Dad says. And yeah, I'll be back content-wise. I'll be back, when is it, for the FA Cup predictions? So the FA Cup the first game is on Thursday, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Thursday 25th. So I'll release my community post predictions for that on the 24th, which is Wednesday. And then Monday the 29th is Premier League predictions for a game week where it's 10 games again, and not this winter break. So yeah, and it's all the games that were on the first game week, but in reverse. So like I say, obviously we got Brighton and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's that. But like I say, if any videos come up, transfer news or anything like that, and it's quite big, then obviously I'll do a video on that. So yeah, big up yourselves, subscribe, like, share, all of that. Follow me across all my socials. Until next time, we'll see you in a bit. So take care and peace.
Peace.